What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You already know the vibe. So in today's video, we're going to talk about why you should be taking advantage of different time zones working from home. Now, again, this is all about strategizing the type of job that you work. And this is why understanding where the company is based at and where you live at is really, really important. So we're going to use me as an example because I've worked and lived in different time zones technically in America. And this is just for the US, by the way. So I'm not going to get into time zones across seas or whatnot. Maybe in the future, once I start traveling more internationally, that's what I'll make. But it's really, really important because it will allow you guys to get ahead in your day, to get ahead of traffic, to not move like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm going to be taking you guys with me to a co-working space today out here in Dallas because, you know, working from home, you got to get out the house as much as possible. But real quick, I want to show you guys something. So if you guys get a chance, go on my channel and make sure you guys watch this video. Here in 2024, I pretty much explained 6 different tips that you guys can use as remote workers. And 2 of them I'm kind of talking about in this video, but more in depth. So if you guys aren't checking out my channel, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I got a lot of great tips for remote workers, a lot of fun vlogs, and a lot of controversial videos talking about layoffs and what's going on in the market today. So let's get it, guys. My bad, guys. I know my phone's in the way, but I need to navigate. You know what I'm saying? So listen. I was watching my old video and, you know, I re-inspired myself. So in watching my last video, you know, the one that I was showing you guys earlier, I gave some really good tips that even I follow, you know, to this day, and things I need to elaborate on more. But the reason why I wanted to talk about the time zone thing is because, you know, that is a part of one of the tips that I was saying where you have to split your work days, you know? So we'll focus on that and then I'll get into the time zones. So in my last video, I talked about splitting your work days, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Right now on my lunch break, I am deciding to work the second half of the day in a co-working space. And the reason why is because, you know, you go crazy being in the house all week and you need to be able to, you know, switch up your routine and whatnot. So it's very important to have a co-working space that you can go to, you can rely on, but not only that, a backup work location, especially out here in Texas when, you know, my apartment be going out, like the electric is always out here and there. And, you know, I've tested out my work laptop at different coffee shops, but unfortunately with this specific job I'm working, it's hard to connect to the Wi-Fi at certain coffee shops that, you know, I was able to find in this area. And I'm driving, you know, it's a little bit inconvenient, but it's because I like this specific area that I'm going to in Dallas. And it's right next to a gym too that I like to go to as well right after work. But the cool thing is, you know, because of the time zone difference that I'm not working on East time anymore. I'm living in Central time, Denver to be specific. So I'll explain in a second. But yeah, I was working East time. Okay. So that meant if I was working 8 to 5 East, I was actually working 7 to 4 Central my time. Okay. And there's another Central time as well. But there's also Mountain time too. And, I think that's the one. Yeah. Mountain time, which is similar to Central. It's like an hour behind us. So it's like East, then Central my time where I'm at in Texas, then Mountain time, and then Pacific time. Okay. So I was working that East schedule on Central time, 8 to 5, which is 7 to 4. And I'm not going to lie, I hated working 8 to 5 when I did live on the East Coast, you know, when I lived in Philly and New Jersey. I hated working that time because as soon as 5 o'clock hit, you already know what happens. Traffic. Now, my lunch breaks, you know, I would take them at like 12, so it'd be 12 to 1. But sometimes I switch it up and do like 12:30 to 1:30 or 11:30 to 12:30, depending on if I wanted to squeeze something in during lunch. Now, keep this in mind that I'm doing the same thing and still strategizing, living on Central time, but working in Pacific time. So I'll tell you guys my work schedule. So originally I had to work 10 to 7, which is 8 to 5 Pacific. okay? Because we're 2 hours ahead Pacific time. So I talked to my boss because I was like, hey, like, can I work 9 to 6? Like, that would just work better for my schedule. And he allowed me to do that. So now, technically, my lunch break is at 2 o'clock my time. And that is around the time that I can do stuff. So now I'm not taking lunch when everyone else is taking lunch. I'm taking a late lunch. And it all works with my schedule, my work schedule to be specific. So number one, I already knew what I was getting myself into working Pacific time. I was already going to adjust my lifestyle. If I worked 10 to 7, then, my lunch would be at 3, which I think would be a little bit better for me now that I'm thinking about it. But I just didn't want to end the workday at 7. I think that's too late. I think 5:36 is the best time to kind of end the workday. So I'm saying all this because, some people don't think it's a big deal, but to me, having worked a 9 to 5 in so many different capacities, working in the office on the East Coast and dealing with the traffic every day, whether it was 30-minute traffic, hour away traffic, I've been through all the different scenarios you could think about at a very young age. And this is what I think the smartest way to kind of strategize your time zones is to figure out what time zone you're in and what time zone, the company works in, and then being able to, communicate with your manager what kind of schedule you want to work that's going to work for you and the team, and then just kind of, getting ahead, utilizing the fact that, for example, for me, that my lunchtime's not at 12 anymore, but because I work from home, I can still make a quick lunch around that time. And then, at 2 o'clock, I can do whatever I want. I can go to the gym. I have an at-home gym as well. That was one of the tips that I talked about in my previous video, having an at-home gym. I have a standing desk. I got a whole studio to myself because I have a 2-bed. So I set myself up even better than, I wouldn't even say even better than my last situation. I would say in my last 2 situations, including now and in Philly, I've set myself up the best to work remotely, And obviously I live in a new city, but I spent time getting to know it with a different position where I was working East time. I miss that schedule a little bit because I do miss getting off of work at 4 o'clock and being able to do happy hour. But, I found some happy hours that I could do late, and I could live without it personally. I'd rather have that late lunch because it gives me time during the day to do things that I feel like I wouldn't be able to do at a regular lunch schedule. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents there. I hope you guys, learned a little something from me, because you got to be smart about how you schedule yourself, how you move around the 9 to 5, and the team dynamics. It's so much that goes into each situation. I'm just really thankful that I found a team that works on Pacific time, and they're really flexible. I don't mind working late if I have to, but they respect my time and they allow me to get off at the time that I want as well. And I really love that, because I'm also starting work at 9 o'clock, so I can sleep in a little bit, but I definitely want to change, because I need to wake up early and hit the gym up in the morning. And I have my own philosophy on gym workouts. I feel like you should move your body throughout the day. I think throughout the whole work day, you should be taking little mini breaks, getting your steps in, not just sitting down for hours and hours and hours. But, to each his own, man. To each his own. Yeah, it sucks driving, but that's what you got to do when you want to go to a really nice area. And if I end up staying in Dallas, I will definitely move to this area that I'm driving to right now. But I'm not going to give you guys all those details yet. So what am I missing? The only thing else I want to say is make sure you guys watch that previous video, see how it applies to 2025. And, just remember, you're not breaking the law, you're breaking the rules. That's what we're trying to do with remote work. So don't be afraid. Just make sure you communicate with your team. Don't tell them too much information about, what you're doing and whatnot. But if you're going to get a co-working space like I'm doing, make sure you test out your work laptop on the weekend, and, make sure you're, make sure you have the budget set aside for that too, because I am paying about like $150 to pretty much go to this co-working space twice a week. Not sure if it's worth it, but it's better than going to a coffee shop and there's nowhere to sit, or there's no plugs, no parking. That's a situation out here that I have to deal with all the time. And at the end of the day, I'm just investing in myself because I know I'm going to be ultra productive in that area. So I'll be showing you guys the co-working space, and then we'll be ending the video. And that is the end of my workday, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again. See ya.